Okay, we are at a minute after, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So first and foremost, welcome to the Down Payment Resource Growing Your First Time Home Buyer Business webinar. Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Tracy Hacker. I'm the Customer Success Manager here at Down Payment Resource. If you have any questions today while I'm speaking, please enter them in the Zoom's Q&A feature. Behind the scenes, we have a few different staff members ready to go with answering your questions. We have Lori Johnson, Kathy Galt, and Will Medina in the background ready to help answer your questions while I'm speaking. But just so you know, we will leave a little bit of time at the very end for any live Q&A as well. They will be keeping an eye on the chat window as well, but it can get really hard to keep up with. So if you have those questions, I definitely suggest putting them in the Zoom's Q&A feature instead, just to make sure that all questions get answered along the way. I will also let you know we are recording today's session. A copy of this recording will be sent to you by email. It's going to be going to the same email address you used to register for today's session. So you should receive that in the next couple of business days once it's had a little bit of time to process. So keep an eye out for that. So today we're going to show you how to start more conversations with first-time home buyers by sharing information that's going to help your buyers overcome their biggest challenge, which is the down payment. We're going to briefly explore the state of DPAs right now and look at the opportunity that first-time homebuyers present. But the focus today is to show you how real agents across the country are using Down Payment Connect to enhance their marketing, expand their reach, and match clients to DPA opportunities and generate those leads. So first, I want to give you a little bit of a background on who we are. Down Payment Resource, or DPR, as we go by, was launched in 2008 to solve a problem that drove so many people crazy in the mortgage lending world and in real estate. There's just no easy way to find and track homebuyer programs. So, DPR developed an easier way to connect eligible borrowers with hard to find resources like DPAs, grants, MCCs, and other assistance. We provide tools and down payment assistance program information for real estate agents, loan officers, and ultimately consumers to help all of you find and understand the down payment solutions out there for your buyers. Today, we're going to talk about one of the coolest DPR tools, which is Down Payment Connect. Some have said that we're kind of like Match.com, but for down payment assistance. Ultimately, we help you connect home buyers to the down payment help that they're needing. So, today we're going to discuss the state of DPAs and their impact, first-time home buyer market opportunity, educating buyers about down payments, enhancing your marketing to expand your reach, and then we're going to go over some Down Payment Connect peer examples. So we'll do some of that through the slide deck, but we're also going to do some live navigation on the internet, social media, things like that. So I can show you some live examples as well. We'll do that a little later. So let's start with the state of DPA programs. We publish a quarterly report that's called the Homeownership Program Index Report, where we take stock of what's out there across the country and look at developing trends. So on the screen, I have an overview of the types of homeownership programs that we track. Currently, 74% of all homebuyer programs are some form of down payment assistance. Those come in many forms, as you can see, including deferred and forgivable programs, repayable programs, and true grants. Do note, though, that most DPAs are deferred loans, and about half of those are also forgivable. We also track all of the affordable first mortgage programs, which can typically be layered with DPAs, as well as tax credits or mortgage credit certificates and some other less common programs, but we're not going to touch much on those today. So it is a very common myth that we hear across the US that down payment programs aren't available in specific areas. However, down payment programs are actually available everywhere in high cost markets, low cost markets, urban, rural, Every single state has a housing finance agency whose programs are available statewide. Plus, there are other local programs in each market. Income and price limits are also market adjusted based on the median incomes and median prices in that market. So you end up seeing higher limits in higher cost markets. On the image here, you can see the states with the greatest number of programs, but there is literally no county in the country where some kind of help isn't available. So now let's take stock of the current DPA trends across the US. I will say demand for DPAs is absolutely through the roof. And DPA providers are increasing their assistance amounts, the income limits, and purchase price limits so that they can help more buyers in today's market. DPA providers are also expanding the eligible uses of their funds as well as inventory options. And new state and local programs are continuing to be added in markets nationwide. In fact, in our most recent Q3 2025 Homeownership Program Index report, it showed that 20 new agencies began offering homebuyer assistance programs in that last quarter, raising the number of agencies providing support for aspiring homeowners to 1,360. It also showed that 70 new programs were added in that quarter, which raised the total number of programs offered across the country to a record high of 2,625 programs. That is a ton of programs, and I will say that is the most that we have ever monitored and had in our system at one time. So, new state and local programs are obviously continuing to launch in markets nationwide. And currently, about 78% of all DPAs are funded and available. So, down payment assistance is widely available. It's not going away. Now, let's think about the mindset of first-time homebuyers. They really want to stop renting, but they don't know what they can afford, and they don't know how down payment. No, they don't know about down payment options and how it can help. Often, they even think they need a bigger down payment than is actually required. So right now, there are so many home buyers that are sidelined and waiting. We know it's a challenging time on many fronts, and that honestly, navigating this process is never easy, no matter what the market is like. So those prospective buyers really need your help navigating that home buying process, getting them pre-approved for a home loan, and really honestly understanding down payment requirements as well as getting access to those different down payment solutions, and they need help navigating a competitive market with limited inventory and then help winning those bids. That's what our tools are here for, and that's what we want to do is we want to help you and them along the way. In fact, in a recent study that we participated in along with the Urban Institute that surveyed millennial renters, here's what potential buyers were saying. When they were asked what their biggest barrier to home ownership was, 68% of them cited the down payment as the biggest obstacle to home ownership. When they were asked how big of a down payment they thought they had to buy a home, 65% of them thought that they needed 15% or 20% or even more for a down payment. And when they were asked if they were familiar with low down payment mortgage options, 76% of them had little or absolutely no familiarity with low down payment mortgage options, much less down payment assistance programs. Many buyers really are actually mortgage ready, but they don't think that they could qualify because of these misperceptions. They don't know that you can get an FHA loan with like 3.5 down or a conventional mortgage with 3 or 5% down. And all too often, they don't know about DPA programs. But we're here today to help start changing that. So, it's a confusing time in the market. Education is more important now than ever, and buyers really need an advisor that they can trust, and then they'll end up telling all of their peers. So maybe you found out about this webinar through your MLS. If your MLS provides down payment resource, we identify eligible listings within that MLS and match them to all available homebuyer assistance programs. If you're an MLS partner with Down Payment Resource, we identify those eligible listings right there within your MLS, and we're going to match them to all the available homebuyer assistance programs in that area. And we provide those matching tools in your MLS agent and client portal listing reports. You also get Down Payment Connect for free through those MLS partners. So check out Down Payment Resource and let your clients know what's available and talk to your lending partners about which programs they offer. And let us know if you have any questions along the way. So if you have this within your MLS, here's a quick little snippet of how to find Down Payment Resource within the MLS. I will note that this is different from one MLS to another, but you can generally find us under products and services or external links. And after you click on Down Payment Resource, you're going to come to your DPR homepage, and your personalized Down Payment Connect link is going to be waiting for you right there. I'll show you how it all works next, but this link is unique to you, and you'll know that because it ends with your first name underscore last name, and it's tied to the name, email, and phone number that's in your MLS profile. So below your landing page link is an overview of Down Payment Connect tool and also a link to marketing resources to help you get started. If you click on that marketing resources button, you'll also have access to several graphics packages, including social media images, as well as customizable flyers in both English and Spanish, training videos, case studies, reports, and so much more. And you can utilize these in your email campaigns, on social media, your website, etc., along with your Down Payment Connect link to help increase your business while educating more buyers about down payment assistance. I'll show you some examples of how other agents are doing this in a few minutes as well. So, if your MLS was not listed earlier, we also have a paid monthly subscription to Down Payment Connect. Now, like I said, if you are part of one of our MLSs, don't go pay for the Down Payment Connect payable version because you have it for free and you should use that one. But if you don't have access to it, we can get you that information after the webinar, or you can go to downpaymentresource.com/DPC to learn more. But Down Payment Connect offers you a personalized landing page where buyers can come search for down payment programs where they want to buy a home and connect back to you to learn more and take the next steps. Loan officers, you can also see all the programs in your market and control which ones display along with additional eligibility tools. So we do have this version as well for loan officers on that site. So there is no limit to the traffic or leads that you can generate with the Down Payment Connect link as well. So it is important though to know that you are not paying for leads. You are generating your own leads in a creative new way with this unique tool. It is, like I said, free for MLS partners, but with a paid version available and, in other ways. So who else gets those leads? No one. These leads are yours and yours alone. No one else is copied. They're not sold or resold anywhere else. Those leads come to you and only you. The consumer filling out that eligibility search will also get an email with your contact information. It's more of a verification email letting them know that the results have been sent to you and that you'll be in contact with them soon. But it does leave your contact information and it does leave a list of the different DPA programs that could potentially help them with their home buying journey. Now that you understand the concept of it, let's look at some fun and creative examples of how your peers all over the country are using Down Payment Connect to drive more business and educate more buyers about DPA programs. We're going to look through a few slides here, but then we're going to visit some of these live in a few moments as well. The first option here is to add the link to your website. Brian in Atlanta simply added a Down Payment Connect link and some basic content to his homepage so that it's among the first things a buyer sees on his website. And it illustrates for prospective first-time homebuyers and others that he's focused on them too. This is a really easy way to get started with Down Payment Connect. Susan in Atlanta embedded her Down Payment Connect link on a buyer's page on her site so that she can drive traffic to the lead tool while making sure visitors never leave her website. This has been a really great way for her to help firefighters, EMTs, and other first responders in her North Atlanta market. We give you instructions on how you can do both of these options by clicking on Marketing Resources from your DPR dashboard. Here's another example from Angela, who embedded the Down Payment Connect form into a new buyer's page on her website. And you can navigate directly to it in her website's main navigation bar. So if you see towards the top where it says Down Payment Assistance, that link at the top, that's where she has embedded that. And then she didn't actually have to create any other content. She literally just has this page dedicated to the form that's just iframed right in there. So it's another really easy way to get started. Some agents do, however, choose to offer a more educational approach. This real estate broker in Seattle has a section on his site called Advice for Buyers with a special DPA page. What they do is they educate buyers about DPA programs, and the page ends with an embedded search for buyers to find what's available to them. This is a really great way to give aspiring buyers just a little bit more information along the way, but then cap it off with the opportunity for them to find out which programs they can use to buy their own home. This is one of our favorites and also includes a lot of educational content. Richmond Region Realty in Virginia created their own long form educational page on down payment assistance with several opportunities to click and go to their own Down Payment Connect tool. They created their own branded educational video explanations of DPAs and their benefits and several links to their Down Payment Connect page throughout this one page. It's written almost like a short ebook or article, and it dives into several topics of interest to buyers. Along the way, the buyer has several opportunities to engage with their Down Payment Connect tool. Ronnie Berman with the Richmond Region Realty was actually featured in Inman News for his successful Facebook campaigns using his Down Payment Connect page. Here's a creative use case from Raul, who is a broker in Austin, Texas. But before I go into this, I have a question for you guys. What homework or takeaways do you give to your new clients? If you have any of those, leave them in chat because we'd love to hear what those are. But what Raul did is he created this 3-step checklist for new clients. And step 1 is to address the home financing and down payment assistance opportunities. We love this because one of our goals here is for down payment assistance to be a part of the earliest conversation a buyer has with their agent and lender, making sure the buyer is getting pre-approved or pre-qualified and also investigating DPA options. And what Raul does with this page is he helps to connect those dots for the buyers. You can do that too with your Down Payment Connect tools. So this is another easy option, and it's presented really to anyone that you email, or honestly, anyone that they forward your email to. But you can see an example of this here with Sal in California, who includes his Down Payment Connect link in his email signature so that anyone getting an email from him or anyone they forward it to knows that down payment help is out there and that they can use Sal's tool to find available programs and continue that conversation. You can find instructions on how to do this in the marketing tools link on your Down Payment Connect homepage as well. So now let's take a look at some social media examples. Raul from Austin, Texas also created a great social media drip campaign where he identified and answered the top 10 homebuyer questions by video. He answered one question a week in video format and posted on his business Facebook page. Down payment assistance was one of the top topics, and the call to action was his Down Payment Connect landing page. This is a really great way to educate new buyers, but also to keep your audience engaged. Video content is a really great way to engage your audience, so make sure to utilize that. And Maryland and Indianapolis used Down Payment Connect in Facebook ads with really great success. She came up with very simple calls to action and led buyers to her Down Payment Connect page. So make sure you're utilizing social media. Here's another couple of social media examples. So on the top right, you can see this is a great example as a listing agent, right? They're promoting a property that they've listed, but also calling to attention that this specific property has down payment assistance available. So if you are listing a property and you know there's DPA available there, use that to your advantage to get some more interest in the property, right? So that's a great example of that. And on the bottom left, one of my great um, tips here, or should say, one of my great suggestions is honestly just relate to home buyers. The home buying journey and saving up for buying a house can really be a daunting task. And so this Facebook social media option down here just has them relating to them, letting them know that saving for a house feels like climbing the half dome at Yosemite Park. But it not only relates to them, but it gives them a solution. It says, but wait, down payment assistance programs can be your secret weapon. And it gives them the link right there to their eligibility search page so that they can fill out that eligibility search form and find what DPA programs might be available to help them to kind of get over that hump right there. Megan here had some yard signs made for her DPA eligible listing. So this is a really great example as well for if you're a listing agent and you've got a property that has down payment assistance available, you can take Megan's notes here and do this as well. But what she did is she made those yard signs with a QR code that directs people when they're at the property to go to her Down Payment Connect landing page so that as they're literally sitting there dreaming of possibly owning that home, they can see that sign right there in the yard. They don't even have to come in for a house, tour. They can literally just be driving by, sitting in their car and see it, scan it, and see what programs might be available to them. We also love this from Minnesota. The Barker Hedges Group launched an entire Facebook page that's dedicated to serving first-time home buyers. They have multiple explainer videos answering questions about saving for a down payment and down payment assistance. And they even cover a few local program examples. But everything is directed back to their Minnesota first-time home buyer website where they can search for programs. You can also see that they highlight real homebuyer success stories on their site. This is my personal favorite way to drum up business because we all love hearing a heartwarming story like this. So along the way, make sure you're highlighting those success stories too. This is such a great way to connect with potential homebuyers because they're seeing these real stories about how DPA can help people. So ask your buyers along the way if you can mention the amount of down payment help that they used and their experience working with you and that program. And then you can highlight that on social media, in your blog, on your website, anywhere. But these real examples from past first-time home buyers are going to help you connect better with tomorrow's buyers because it's going to show them that it's really something that's achievable and that you are the professional that can help guide them through that and connect them to that. I do also want to note, if you recognize on here, they are co-marketing this page with their lender partner. This is such a great idea. I really highly suggest working with your lenders and agents so that you guys are combining resources and helping to tackle the needs of your consumers, right? So if you're an agent, partner up with lenders who do these programs and who do them well, who are familiar, because they are going to be somebody that is an expert that you can lean on and you can feel comfortable referring your home buyers to. That same Minnesota team also posts educational videos for aspiring buyers. This main video highlights how buyers can find a participating lender. In fact, all of the videos this team produces are short and to the point. So keep it simple, and you can even break down DPAs into shorter videos and make a series out of it. Sticking with social media still, here's two great examples from Instagram. Bo in Florida tells his audience about DPAs and to stop second guessing themselves. This is such a great message because I cannot begin to tell you how many potential home buyers won't even start the process of looking for a home because they just second guess themselves and they don't even think it's possible. John in California tells his Instagram audience that there's help out there for people who are worried they'll never have enough down payment saved up. Both of them are leveraging things like hashtags, and you can also use tools like Linktree to add your down payment connect link to your Instagram bio. And it lets buyers know that help is out there and that you are the one that can connect them to that help. TikTok is another really great resource, and I feel that it is booming even more lately than it used to, but especially with some of the younger home buyers that are using it, they're scrolling on TikTok often and seeing some short little snippet videos of how to do different parts of the process. But right here, she has posted a little video specifically informing consumers about how to buy a home in Texas with using down payment assistance and getting lots of likes and comments and engagement with this process. So I highly suggest utilizing TikTok as well. Feel like videos in general, any kind of video content is always so helpful for consumers right now. So I highly suggest it. You can also utilize LinkedIn and Linktree. And I will also point out that for anybody who is an animal lover like me, if you see any kind of advertisement or promotion that utilizes a cute little puppy in it or a cat or something like that, it grabs our attention. And that's what Carlton did here. And I like that not only did he use this image, which by the way is one of our stock images, you can use this as well. But not only did he use this image, but he made the content in his post about including your little fur friend, right? So it says, who says your furry friend can't have a say in your home search? Let me help you find the perfect home for you and your four-legged family member with DPA options. And then right there in that post is the link to his eligibility search page so that consumers can click on that and they can go straight to that eligibility search form, fill it out themselves, and see what all is optional for them. Okay, so these were some examples on my deck here. Now I'm going to switch live and I'm going to show you how you can navigate around on social media and get to some of this information as well. So first thing I'm going to show you is Suncoast Realty Solutions. This is a great example here. Up in the navigation bar, if you hover over buy, you can see down payment assistance. And what happens here is if somebody should click on that, then they're going to go to a page, which let me show you that here real quick. We're going to go to a page to fill out the eligibility search. We talked a lot about this today. This is a good example of what this looks like. So your consumer would come to a page where we're letting them know that in this case, Brandy Gabbard is the point of contact. Brandy Gabbard will be receiving this information and will be in contact with them afterwards. So for you, it'd be your information right there. But at minimum, we need to know where they're wanting to move to. So it can be a specific street address, or it can be like a city or a county in a certain area that they're wanting to move to. In most cases, they're not really ready with a certain address yet. So if they put in a county, which will say Butler Beach, immediately, however many programs are available in that county are going to start to populate. Now, for you loan officers out there, like I said, we have a version of this that is available where you can pick and choose which programs you want displayed for your link so that you're making sure that only the programs you can help consumers with are going to show up. So for you, as an example, maybe yours is 15 programs or 18 programs. Whatever you have approved will show up with this search, and it will adjust accordingly to what you have approved in there. So instantly 24 programs are available in Butler Beach. when someone fills out the additional information here below for what that estimated sales price is that they're wanting to pay, how many units they may be wanting to do, right? So maybe you've got somebody that wants to have a multi-unit property, rent out a couple of those properties. You can use down payment assistance programs for multi-unit properties in some areas. I will note, though, that you can't exceed 4 units for the purpose of down payment assistance, and a home buyer purchasing that utilizing down payment assistance, a stipulation is they have to reside in one of those units. So if you have somebody that was getting a triplex, as an example, as long as um, that homeowner resides in one of those units, they can rent out the other 2 units and still use down payment assistance for it in that case and have some income coming in. But the more information they put in here about their household size, current home ownership status, which, by the way, I'll point out, I just put in that I do currently own a home and there's still 8 programs available with me as a current homeowner in this area that could help me. So it's not just for home buyers that are first-time home buyers. And I will also note that for purposes of down payment assistance, you are only considered you are considered a first-time home buyer again if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years. So keep that in mind as you're speaking to potential home buyers as well. So fill out the information. Make sure you click on any of these down here and remind your home buyers to fill these out so that if they're in a certain profession or a veteran or something like that, sometimes there's additional programs out there that can help them. So once you click on get details, they will see the total number of programs available, the maximum assistance amount for the highest paying program of that group. Now, sometimes they can be combined together so that the homebuyers can use more than one down payment assistance program to help them along the way. So under that, they'll see this information letting them know, fill out your contact information below, and Brandy, in this case, will be in contact with you soon to discuss those next steps. Once they fill this out, click on Get Program Details. That's when you get that lead. That is when you will receive that lead so that you can follow up with them, have that call, have a little bit more information and questioning and stuff like that with them to help them along the way. So that's how this process works. Let me show you a few other examples of how others are using this. So in Oklahoma, so this is, as soon as somebody goes to this page, there's a pop-up right here that lets consumers know that down payment programs are available and we can help you, right? So if you click on this link here, you're going to fill out that same eligibility search form where the correct programs are going to be matched up for that particular borrower. Next option here. So this is a mortgage company who has on their site just a dedicated page just informing people that there are down payment assistance programs out there and that they can help you with it. So this is a short page. They didn't dedicate a lot of time or resources. They didn't put out a whole informative page with lots of information, just simply letting people know that there are DPA programs out there. And there are 2 calls to action on this site. If you can click here or right here where it says click here, and you're going to be able to be taken to that eligibility search page, fill out the information and see what programs might be available. Next, we have here RWM Home Loans. So this is on a loan officer page. You can do this for yourself with just a bio page about you as an agent as well. But somewhere on your site, you could have something similar to this where there's a call to action saying down payment assistance, click here to see what down payment assistance options are available for you. So this is a great example of that. A lot of people, when they're going to sites, are trying to figure out what their steps should be, right? So obviously, as a loan officer, the main step we're trying to get you to is to purchase a home. But so that's one step here. But if you're not quite ready for that, you may want to look into down payment assistance options. That's a great option here as well. So laying out those steps for them is really helpful. All right, up next, we have here, this is a great example of where you can utilize the down payment resource the navigation bar to have down payment resource there. There's actually two spots that he has put it here. Directly, it says down payment resource, or you can click on resources, and down payment resource is one of the options to click on. But if you click on that, you're going to go to their eligibility search page as well. Fill out that form and get those results. This is an interesting one. So they've had it so that as a realtor, if anybody comes to their page here, he's highlighting the number one mistake first home buyers do, right, is a page all about those mistakes, right? That number one mistake is not utilizing down payment assistance, right? So they have a fun little video here that you can watch, but the call to action is right here. Check your eligibility now. If I were to click on that, I'm going to go to their version of the down payment eligibility search form, right? And then they're going to get those leads. But this is a really interesting way to approach it as well, kind of give homebuyers a little bit more information there. Up next, we have a page here that's going to give a little bit more information. So we have down payment assistance programs, available programs. If you click on this button here, it's going to let you fill out that eligibility search form. But also I want to point out that down below, aside from having that link right there that consumers can click on and fill out the form, they're also giving a little bit of information about down payment assistance and those benefits there, right? Letting consumers have a little education right away before they have to click on anything or do anything. And it just kind of dives into a little bit of information about down payment assistance. There's also another call to action down here where it's letting them know you can go ahead and fill out that eligibility search form and find out more. Okay, so makingmoveshappenrealty.com. So this is a good example. So they have a meet the team page. They have a little bit of information, but it's got some options down below for upcoming events and tools and things like that. One of those is this down payment assistance form, letting consumers know down payment money is available. If you click on this box here, you're going to fill out their eligibility search form, right? So they've just got little quick eye-catching kind of marketing happening right here so that consumers can click on that. So next, I wanted to show you a few options on here, which it looks like it has gone away. I don't know what happened there. But let me show you this one. So here's an example on Facebook. So Shayla Danae did a post. She utilized one of our stock images, by the way, but on here you can see quickly she utilized that stock image. And if I click on this, I'm going to go to her down payment assistance eligibility search form. But she just left a little short message here letting people know that you can get free money to buy a home, right? And that there's different down payment assistance programs available out there that could either just give them as a grant as free money, or other options for getting some assistance in the beginning as well. So this is a great option here. I will also point out this is a neat video where she had done a series of videos. And one of the videos in this series acknowledged down payment assistance in the process, right? So this is all for future home buyers, educating them, giving them some tips and tricks so that they can be more informed and more educated and have an easier process, right? So you can watch this video. Like I said, videos are a great way right now for consumers to become more educated and informed. Everybody's just so busy, right? That watching a little video can just help digest a little bit more information. And a lot of people are visual learners. So being able to see a video and stuff like that helps retain some of that information. Her video is about 9 minutes or so long. But it's educational, right? And the call to action, if you look over here in the overview, has her link right here so that consumers can click on that once they've got finished watching the video and becoming more informed. Now they can click right here. They can find out what DPA programs might be available to them to help them with those next steps in their process, right? So those are a few different great options on here for you. I'm going to pull this back up and we're going to go back to this slide deck here. All right. So, in my role here at Down Payment Resource, I speak with agents across the country regularly, and I'm learning how they're using our tools in the ways that I just showed you, as well as others, but to help aspiring home buyers. So, don't be afraid of down payment assistance options. I know it can seem overwhelming because there's so many different variations in the types of DPA programs, but don't be afraid of them. Instead, use it as leverage to help you stand out among the rest with this helpful advantage that you can have here. So, here's a quick recap of ways that I've shown you that can assist you in this endeavor, as well as a few other ideas. Your email signature. I can't stress this enough. You can do this without much lift at all. It's a one and done, high impact bit of effort. So, make sure you add a graphic or hyperlink your text so that people can click on that eligibility search link right there in your email signature. Also, if you are a listing agent and one of your listings is eligible, make sure you market that listing with program information and utilize some of the details that you know about the programs available there. You can highlight how many total programs are available for that property or the highest assistance amount available of those programs, right? You can even print out program information and have it available at open houses. Facebook ads allow you to target your specific market and they give great reports on the number of clicks, views, etc. And it can really help you test interest in your content. So make sure you're utilizing those Facebook posts as well. And add your Down Payment Connect as your Instagram profile link. In your Instagram posts, you can direct buyers to click the link in your profile. Educational content is really a great plus. Buyers are doing more and more research in advance. So when you're utilizing educational content, make sure that you're using keywords like down payment help and your city name. Many buyers will search for things like down payment assistance enrichment. So utilize those combinations of words to try to make sure that you get some traction there. Also, add a first-time homebuyer section on your site. Many have a for buyers page. So if you do, just make sure you really speak to that audience that you're wanting to reach and utilize first-time homebuyers or new buyers, some of those target words that we were talking about. Explainer videos on your website and social media can really add a lot of value. Everyone is so busy, and those videos just make it so much easier to take in the information. There's so many ways to record and easily edit today as well. Also, host virtual home buyer events and make sure you co-host with referral partners like we were talking about earlier, making sure that if you are an agent, you partner up with loan officers, and so on, right? And have that leverage there and that ability to have their knowledge on board as well. And don't forget along the way to reach back out to your target audience through ongoing drip marketing campaigns because some of these buyers may not be ready right now, but by sending valuable information, connecting them to other homebuyer education or resources that can help, you're going to be top of mind for them when they are ready. Finally, leverage the experts available to you. Remember, you do not have to be an expert in down payment assistance. Lean on your HFAs and lenders and make sure to partner with them. And here are a few tips. You can find participating lenders for each program in the program details section. I am confident that while I've been speaking, we've had at least one person ask a question about how can I find lender that's experienced with DPAs that I can refer people to. It's our number one question that we get. So this is a great place you can go, right? You can find it in that program details section and develop partnerships with more participating lenders. And along the way, ask those lenders that you're currently partnered with, as well as new ones that you're interacting with, what programs they're eligible to work with. And I will let you know that if you've worked with a loan officer that in a previous situation and a down payment assistance program wasn't utilized, that doesn't mean that they don't work with DPA programs. It could just mean that in that particular case, a DPA program wasn't needed or wasn't an option, a viable option for that borrower. So make sure you're reaching out to the people that you've already worked with because you already have interactions there and you already have a base point for a partnership and a relationship with them. You can also connect with your state and local HFAs, nonprofits, and employers to find out what resources they might offer for agents and what other classes that they offer. And on any of your website content, blog, or social media, highlight information about local programs and make sure along the way you're using those keywords as well. I also suggest to take a first-time homebuyer class to get content ideas for first-time homebuyers because most of these programs do require that the home buyer take a first-time homebuyer education class. And if you're joining in on one of those with them, you're going to get familiar with the types of information they're learning along the way to see, what that education is like, what they're interested in, and things like that. I would love it if you joined us in our growing Facebook group called Down Payment Insiders. On there, you can join over 13,000 members. They consist of real estate agents, loan officers, housing counselors, and even DPA providers, as they're all discussing the best practices with DPAs, first-time home buyers, working with lenders, learning from each other, marketing ideas, and so much more. It's a great platform to join. Because it's full of other professionals that are like-minded and want to help. You can listen in and learn, or you can participate in the dialogue and engage with your peers. It's also a great place to network and connect with loan officers that offer DPAs in your market. This is another suggestion I give to people as an agent if you're trying to connect with loan officers in your area that not only work with DPAs but are really familiar with them, savvy and comfortable with them that you can lean on. Put a post out there and say that you're looking for a DPA or a loan officer that's familiar with DPAs that you can partner up with and refer your customers to. And I'm sure you'll get people reacting to that for sure. Lastly, I want to introduce you to a couple of successful agents utilizing DPAs that we actually met on our Facebook community page. Raul Rowe is a veteran. He understood firsthand the challenges that other veterans are facing when dealing with home ownership. And he decided to become an expert on DPA programs specific to veterans in the state of Texas. I showed you a couple of his ideas earlier, but he took the time to dive into these programs so that he could understand them well, and he now utilizes that knowledge to assist other veterans that are looking to purchase a home. And Amber Bennett works with peers of hers that are all first-time homebuyers. She decided to dive into the details of DPAs so that she could become an expert that homebuyers can turn to for reliable guidance on the ways in which they could get into a home without having to have a huge down payment saved up first. She really made it her niche and found LOs to partner with who were like-minded and did DPAs well. Like Amber's clients, DPA customers really do become customers for life. So I highly suggest you work with these home buyers who are needing DPA because they're going to tell your story. They're going to refer you. They're going to talk about their experience and how you were able to bring to light options that they didn't know existed and possibly were able to make them get into a home that they wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So along the way, tell those stories, help them. They're going to refer you to their family members, friends, everybody they know. And if you're here, you can probably relate to these DPR power users because they're both aiming to serve their own communities well. And in their cases, they're new buyers and veterans. But they saw a real need in their market and they are becoming this hero to their clients along the way. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I've left on the screen here our contact information. If you have any questions after our session is done, please feel free to reach out to us at info@downpaymentresource.com. You can go to our website, which is downpaymentresource.com, and you can see some additional information on there, videos, content, things like that along the way. So you're welcome to go on there as well. And before we leave, like I said earlier, I want to go ahead and switch it over and see if we have any live questions that we should answer. I can see that you guys have been busy in the background. But Lori, Kathy, Will, Keith, I see you guys in the background working hard. Are there any questions that we should make sure to address real quick?
Hi, Tracy. Lots of great questions. Lots of activity going on here. There's looks like a couple questions that came in that we haven't answered. It says, can you open up and show us an example of what a buyer will see? I'm not sure if that's.
I see that question, Lori. I'm assuming, Kim, that that question is about what the eligibility search form looks like. I did show that earlier. Let me go back to the live here for you, and I'll show that again. But you may have joined us a little late, and if that's so, it will be on the recording as well. So let me escape out of here. Let me go back here. So this is the contact or the eligibility search form that I'd had pulled up. So the consumers are going to go to a page like this. Once they click on the link, they fill out the eligibility search questions to the best of their ability. If they just put in a general search or a location, they can get results based on that. But the more information they put in here, the more refined those results are going to be. So I suggest having them fill it out as much as they can, um, so that they can get it whittled down to a more refined result of which programs would be available to them. But once they're finished filling this out, they click on Get Details, and they're going to come to a page like this. It tells them the total number of programs, the maximum assistance amount, and so forth. And then they fill out the contact information, and that lead comes to you in your inbox, and they will also get an email just with your contact information and letting them know that you'll be in contact with them soon to discuss those details. All right. What was the next question? Let me get back over here to this, and I'm going to get this sharing again. All right. Let me know though if I'm incorrect on what your question was there.
She says I wanted to see what programs come up.
Um,
And
so that's actually, Kim, that's going to be in your email lead. So what happens is the email, I don't have an example that I can pull up to you here because if I fill out one of these, those are live examples. It's going to go to those actual agents and loan officers. So I don't want to do that because it's going to look like a lead to them. But what that email looks like for the consumer is it's going to have your contact information. It's just going to be an email with your contact information saying, thank you for filling out the eligibility search. I'll be in touch with you soon. And it will leave your contact information and it will show a list of all those different DPA programs that are populating as a potential match for them. There isn't anything for them to click on, so there's no links for additional information. That's going to be in your email as the lead email. You'll be able to click on links from there. But their email is just letting them know what the names of all of these different DPA programs are and the maximum assistance amount for each one of those programs. So it's a pretty simple kind of email for them because we don't want to overwhelm them with a lot of information. That should be on the professionals to be able to help guide them as the loan officers and the agents along the way. Okay. Let's
They
see.
want to know if there's an eligibility page in Spanish. There, a couple people have asked about Spanish content. I know we have Spanish content in Down Payment Connect.
Yes, so unfortunately, we don't have our system isn't able to convert from English to Spanish for your eligibility search page. We do have some Spanish marketing materials like flyers that you can print off and you can customize with your contact information. So if you want to leave those at like open houses or, submit them out, have that on your website, things like that, you can do that. We have those available in Spanish, but unfortunately, the tool itself is not able to be converted into Spanish. Oliver, I see your question saying if my MLS has the program as in the down payment resource tools, I don't have to pay the $24 a month and I can still post this on my social media and website. Absolutely, Oliver. Do not pay. We don't want you paying if you have this available to you through your MLS. So just look for us on there. Click on down payment resource. It's going to get you to your personalized down payment connect page where you'll find your eligibility search URL. You don't have to do anything to get this turned on. It's already turned on and ready for you. So you just literally click on it and find the information. And then you can distribute that eligibility search link, and then you'll start receiving leads. So make sure that you guys, for anyone, if you're doing a paid version or if you have it for free, that you just, when you first start using it, that you make sure and keep an eye on junk or spam folders, just in case the way that your system is, it's filtering any of our emails into there instead of into your inbox. We want to make sure you get those leads.
One of the questions says, when I download the flyers, the colors are unhighlighted. Why is that?
So you can't change the colors if that's what you're meaning, that they're unhighlighted. When you download the flyer, it does look like it's the colors are muted because it's honing in to let you know that you do have that customizable section in the bottom right corner of those flyers so that you can customize that with your contact information. But when you go to print them out and things like that, the color is normal. But you can't adjust anything else in the flyer because it is our flyer. So we don't want the verbiage to change or anything like that to change in there. So there's no other customization within that form.
Okay, another question is, where can we find participating lenders? If you actually go to the DPA provider's website, they will list out their approved or participating lenders right there. So that would be helpful if you go to their actual
Yeah.
website, each DPA.
Yeah. So when you guys receive a lead email from us, you know, that somebody has filled out. So if I went onto your eligibility search page, you would get an email that says Tracy Hacker filled out the eligibility search form. Here's my contact information. You're going to see the list of all those different DPAs that are showing as a potential match for me. And if you click on any of those DPAs in that email, it's going to bring open a page where it's going to give you a little overview of information about that down payment assistance program. Within those details, there will be a link for the program providers list of already vetted and approved lenders to work with that program. That's not our list, that's their list. So it'll take you straight to one of their pages on their website or a form that has been submitted to us and things like that. So you can work from that list and reach out to any of those DPA program providers. I'm sorry, any of those loan officers to see if you can strike up a partnership with them and have them as a referral for your customers that you're working with. But also along that way, I would definitely want to address that just because they're not on that list doesn't mean that a lender can't utilize that program. That list is just the ones who have already gone through any steps that need to be done in order to become an approved lender. So I would suggest, like, if you have a buyer or a borrower that is that's trying to purchase a home and they already have a lender they're working with, have have them, ask them if you can forward the email that you got to the loan officer they're working with, because your email has those links. Not only will the loan officer be able to see the links, click on that, find some information on those different DPA programs that they might not even know exist out there, because there's so many programs in all the areas, it's hard for lenders to keep up with them all. So it may be new to them, but they can look at it and see if it's a program that they would be willing to work with and able to work with, and maybe able to become one of those approved lenders for them. But also doing that helps that home buyer, but also helps keep you in the loop, because if you're forwarding it over to their loan officer, you can be in contact with their loan officer along the way as well, and continue that partnership. So that's a great place. You can also go to um, our Facebook page that I was telling you guys about. Actually, let me show you that on the previous slide. Down Payment Insiders. If you join us there, you can put a post out there and try to be connected with lenders in your area that currently work with DPA programs so that you guys can partner up. So that's a great option as well. All right. Anything else? Also, I do want to make sure and note for those of you that may have joined us a few minutes late, we are recording this session and it will be sent to you. It's going to be emailed to you in the next couple of business days. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to show up in your inbox, and it's going to have the recording of this session so that you can revisit this later and digest some of the information. I know I've thrown a lot at you today, so you'll have that coming your way as well. All right. I think Oh, William, I see your quick question. My MLS is a partner. Where do we find our personalized link? When you are logged into your MLS, look for down payment resource. It's usually going to be under partners or resources. But if you look for down payment resource, a lot of time the icon is going to be like a green and blue house icon, which you can kind of see at the bottom left of my screen where it says down payment resource, that little white and green house. It's usually blue and green, but because it's on a blue banner, it's white and green right there. But it either looks like that or it will look like a money sign um, logo. So if you look for those on when you're logged in, you should be able to get to your Down Payment Connect page and find that custom URL for you. You'll know it's yours because it ends with your first name underscore last name. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I'm going to put our contact information back up on the screen for you. We'll have this recording out to you guys as soon as we can. It does take a while for it to process, so just give us a couple of days and you should see that in your inbox. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I really hope that this tool is able to help you along the way. I know we're at the start of a new year. This is a great time to get more familiar with all the different down payment programs available in your area and what DPAs are. Become comfortable with that. Get those connections made so that when home buying season ramps up, you guys are really prepared and able to help many, many more home buyers get into homes than what they think are able to do so. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we hope to see you on one of our future sessions. Bye, everyone.